4065.
Tighten skin on your face, neck, and body and lose fat at Ageless Body Sculpting Plus, located at 445 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton, where you'll find scientific technologies, including the latest acoustic lipolyzer, which uses ultrasound for immediate and permanent results. No surgery, diet, or exercise. If you don't lose inches, you don't pay. Call 561-654-0177 for your free consultation. Figurella, the Italian women's fitness and weight loss system, is now in downtown Boca Raton. Sculpt your body while losing pounds and inches with a 30-minute guided workout in one of Figurella's unique thermogenic bubbles, then detox in an oxygen pod before enjoying a full-body lymphatic massage. The Figurella system is guaranteed to help you reach your fitness and weight loss goals. Call 844-662-8941 to book your first complimentary workout. Burn fat, increase your metabolism, and reshape your curves with science. Contact Figurella at 844-662-8941 or FigurellaUSA.com. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
It's the Becky and Boca Show, coming to you live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. from glamorous downtown Boca Raton. I'll show you how to live life in style in one of the country's most elegant cities, nestled right along the beautiful Atlantic beaches between Palm Beach and Miami. So sit back, relax, and let me show you how to indulge yourself Boca style. Hello, welcome to the Becky and Boca Show. I have some great guests tonight, but before I get to that, I want to welcome a new sponsor I have on the show. It's Ageless Body Sculpting Plus, and it's Nina over there, and she does all these wonderful treatments. One of them is a fat melting treatment using ultrasound, and I have been trying it on my belly. She kept saying, you got to come in and try it. You got to come in and try it. I'm like, oh, let me send the model. She's like, no, it has to be you. So I went in there and tried it on Monday, and then I did another session today, and it works. If it didn't work, I just wouldn't say anything. So you got to give her a try. And I also want to thank Lisa and Ivy at Ivy Lee's for doing my makeup, as they always do, Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge, and Serendipity for my wardrobe, and they even dressed my guest for tonight. So let's get to my first guest. It is Marissa Hall. She is a Peace Corps volunteer, and I invited her in here because I don't know any kids in Boca, you don't live in Boca,
no,
that have actually joined the Peace Corps. And you're making, is it a 2.5-year commitment? Is that
2 years, 3 months.
2 years and 3 months. And you're leaving in 3 months?
Yes, I'll be leaving in August.
And where are you going?
I'm going to Kyrgyzstan or the Kyrgyz Republic.
Oh my gosh, where exactly is that?
Okay, so it's located in East Central Asia. So it's going to be next to Kazakhstan, China, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan.
Oh my goodness. Have you ever been there?
I've not, no.
So you just decided you're going to volunteer and you're going to go wherever they send you?
Yeah.
And you're making this commitment?
Yeah, they give you 3 options. You can rank your top 3 options, and the third can just be send me anywhere. And I actually did get my first option, so that was the
So this is
first
the
one
place you chose to go?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. What is it like there? What's the climate?
Yeah, so it's very small. It's about the size of Nebraska, the entire country is. And it's pretty much all mountains. It's a Chinese mountain range that stretches across the country. So it's all just real, like, snow-capped mountains, pretty cold for most of the year.
Goodness. Now, I know you've been living in Florida for the past, 4 years, because you're graduating right now, but you're from
Washington, D.C., just outside of it.
So you're used to chilly weather, but
yeah, but not that long in the year. Yeah.
So all year round it's like that?
No, they have drier summers, and it's not going to be as cold, but it can get into the negative 30 degrees, they said.
Oh my goodness. I can't imagine. I mean, you must be one dedicated young woman to
I'm excited,
to do this. I mean, it's something you want to do.
It is.
So have you done volunteering similar to this before?
Yeah, I have. I've been able. I go to University of Central Florida, and I'm graduating
now. Tomorrow, right?
2 days. Yeah.
2 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so I've been able to volunteer a lot with them, and I work for their alternative break program, which sends ECF students around the country and around the world to do different service projects. And 2 years ago, I was a participant on a Guatemala trip that worked on community development, and this past year, I got to lead that trip.
It must be very difficult to go from luxurious surroundings in the United States to places like that where you're living the electricity, internet, all those kind of things, or?
Yeah, I'll have basic electricity and heating. It won't always be hot water. And we don't have very strong internet service. They said usually they can work with you to try to find like a local SIM card for a cell phone. You can get some sketchy internet connection when you go to different internet cafes, or they're going to work with you hopefully in the school where I'll be teaching too.
So you're going to be teaching?
I am, yeah. They have 3 different program sectors for Kyrgyzstan, and the one that I'm working for is TEFL, which is teaching English as a foreign language.
So you're going to be teaching English too? And how old are the students?
It's secondary school, so usually 7th through 11th grade.
Oh, wow.
But they said because of a lack of teachers, just for my cohort, which is my group that's going in, we might be teaching the younger grades as well. So I'll see when I get there.
Goodness. So you told me you're living with a host family.
Yes.
But you don't know who they are yet.
No. And for our first 3 months, which are training, basically we do safety training, language training, try to kind of get a grasp on the whole area there. We'll be with one host family and a couple other volunteers as well.
So you won't be the only volunteer there?
Not for the first 3 months. And then after our training stage is over, then I'll be sent to my own rural village where I'll live with a different host family, and that's for the whole 2 years.
The whole 2 years?
Yeah.
Do you know, do they have kids? Do you know anything about them?
No idea. I know a lot of them do have kids, which I'm hoping. I have 3 younger brothers, so I'm hoping more younger kids around, but we'll see.
So you just don't know? Wow,
No.
you are brave. And I think it's
Thank you.
wonderful that you're willing to do this because, well, most people wouldn't do it. You know.
Yeah.
And when I heard that you had joined the Peace Corps, I was like, no, she didn't. I'm like, oh, she did.
I was thinking about it for a while, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to be something that you were
Right,
planning on doing.
Right, I had applied back in August, and I figured I'd see if I got into that. I figured if I'd get into grad school, different full-time jobs and everything. Then I found out I was accepted in January, which I didn't think was going to happen. It was pretty competitive. But then when I found I got in, they said I had 3 calendar days to decide. And that really freaked
you only
me out.
had 3 days to decide whether you wanted to do it or
Yeah,
not?
I hadn't applied to grad school yet or anything, so I had to really sit down, look at it, do all my research.
Oh, wow. So it's over a 2-year commitment. And so when you're finished, then what? What's your plan?
Yeah, so they give you, for your close of service, which is the end, they pay for your flight back to the U.S., and they give you a close of service fee, which kind of helps. It's not as much money as you would make, obviously,
you paid while
as a
you're
regular
there or
job.
anything?
I'm paid on a regular stipend to live comfortably at the level that everyone else is living at there. So I don't have to worry about really paying for the food as long as I'm eating at like a local level and that type of thing. I pay rent to my host family, that type of thing, and they do pay for that. And then when I return, I'm hoping to go to grad school back in D.C., where I'm originally from, and I want to major in international relations and sustainable development. And then
Yeah, you'll certainly
hopefully
have the
work on that.
background for that.
Yeah, that's my hope.
Wow. And I know that you are a very generous person because I know you wouldn't say this, but I heard that in college you won a gift certificate to, a college girl, listen to this, a college girl won a $500 gift certificate to Victoria's Secrets.
Yeah, one of their
What
Christmas
college
ones.
girl wouldn't want that? But what did you do with that gift certificate?
There's a really cool organization in Orlando. It's called Harbor House. They help with victims of domestic abuse and their children and their pets, actually. And so I was able to go with my roommate to Victoria's Secret. I got sizing for all the women, was able to use the money to pick out different clothing, lotions, all that type of stuff that they really needed.
Oh,
so
my
that was
God.
nice.
No. What college girls? Because I'm sure you could have used.
I was planning on. I really was. I started filling out my
Secret.
card.
I like the things at Victoria's
Right.
Secret.
I started filling out my card, and I was like, I don't need any of this. Really,
See?
it was extreme. It wasn't necessary.
Oh my goodness! Oh, you're making me tear up. There aren't too many young people that would do that. You know, I mean, I know a lot of philanthropists here in Boca Raton. People that donate millions and millions of dollars to charity. And
That's
that
great.
is wonderful. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's why this city is what it is, the beautiful universities, the hospital, and all that. But these people are already living very, very comfortably. So for them to give this, it's a wonderful thing, but it's not taking anything away from them. But you donated that, which you probably could have used. Plus, you're going to actually live in another country for over 2 years and sacrifice what you could have here in the United States for other people. So that's I think it's even better than the big multi-million dollar. I mean, they're all great, but this is really, it's self-sacrificing.
It's something I really like about the Peace Corps because they're so focused on sustainable change and having that lasting impact that'll stay after you leave. And so I think it's more important to like be working with the people, be able to see their different culture and values. So you're not just coming in and telling them what to do, what to change. You're working with them so that once you leave, once other people leave, they can continue that change.
So as a representative of the Peace Corps there, are you trying to change other things than just teach them English, or are you?
Yeah, I am able on my own to do community development projects. I'm expected to hold clubs, activities, to work with the children, try to get them. A lot of the things we do are working with young girls to try to empower them, get them more involved in school, because a lot of them don't always continue on their education.
Is this a country where high school is it? Do they usually go to college or?
Not often, no. It is becoming a more, now that it is more like democratic country, they are working more towards that, but there just aren't that many opportunities. And since it's such a nomadic, like rural village areas, it just doesn't happen as often, no.
Well, I bet you'll be very inspiring to those young women.
I hope so.
Wow. So what is your undergraduate degree in?
It's in international relations.
International relations.
And a minor in Russian.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You speak Russian, right?
Not fluently, but working on it, yeah. I studied abroad there.
Okay, that's tough too. Wow. So you've always been interested in giving back like this, even when you were very young?
Yeah.
Is this something you always wanted to do?
Yeah, I've always liked working with kids. I've coached sports.
But you can
since I
work
was
with
really
kids
young,
here
but-
in the United States. You don't have to go to, where are you going again?
Kyrgyzstan, yeah.
Kyrgyzstan. You don't have to go to Kyrgyzstan. I mean, that's really a commitment, and it's really admirable.
Yeah.
I imagine you won't have any trouble finding a job
I
after
hope
that.
so, yeah. One of the really cool things, since it is a Department of State program, they give you non-competitive federal eligibility for the year after you return. So that should be really nice.
What does that mean then?
It basically puts you on a different level when you're applying for federal jobs because they see you have that experience, you've worked with the program and with basically the department, and they kind of give you like that higher advantage of consideration. It's not a job guarantee.
Right, but it's certainly
it'll help for sure.
Anybody
yeah.
that would
yeah, and I can always postpone it for graduate degree as well.
Oh, okay, so you can come back, get your graduate degree.
And then try to get in. Mm-hmm.
So then ultimately you said you want a master's degree in?
Yeah, a dual master's in international relations and sustainable development.
And what exactly is sustainable development?
Yeah,
you have to explain that one
sure,
to me.
No, it's kind of a new concept, but it's just the idea of creating lasting change that's going to stay after you're gone, after your children are gone, change that's going to be continued on its own and that other people can continue as well.
Such as?
Well, education's the main one, but let me see. For example, one of the things we were working on in Guatemala was building tilapia ponds for different families because rather than just give them money or give them an income source right then, you find a way that they can then, once you're gone, they can continue it. They can raise these tilapia, they can sell them at the different markets, they can also use them as food products for their own family. So it's doing something where you're not just giving one donation or not just doing a one-time thing. It's something that's lasting and that they can continue as well. So it's not just charity. It's not something that only you're doing. They're also involved.
Right. Are you going to be doing anything like that with the Peace Corps?
Yeah, that's their whole theory is that, well, especially for education, because that's what you're trying to instill those values of wanting an education.
Make them want to go.
Exactly, yeah, especially in the younger children. So that's the hope. We also have people who are doing the health sector, working with different hospitals and different vaccination clinics and stuff over there. And then we have community development as well, which I'm also partnering with.
So you said you'll be doing what with the community development? You'll be having meetings and things like that with
basically, and it's very free form. I'm kind of allowed to do what I want
You're in
with
charge.
it. Yeah, exactly. And the school year, it's like a basic American school year, so we have those 2 months of summer in between, and during that time, I'm expected to hold clinics, camps, kind of make like maybe a camp for all the different villages around me to come and send their children to, just anything that could really help to involve them.
Wow.
It'll be cool.
It will be fun.
They're going to train me too, so.
So there'll be someone, the Peace Corps is going to train you?
Yeah, absolutely. In those first 3 months when we're doing safety and language, they're going to work with me on different teaching structures and methods and ways that I can involve the children, different ways I can branch off. I know people have done English clubs, sports clubs, girls leadership clinics, so all of that would be really interesting.
Oh, yes. And I would imagine they all want to learn English.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
absolutely. The main language there is Kyrgyz, which is like
What is that?
It's a Turkish language, but it's based on the Cyrillic alphabet, which Russian also is.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
then in the city, a few people speak Russian. So some people.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
you might be able to.
I'm hoping I'll be able to get by some with that. I'm hoping that'll
With
help me
Russian.
learn Kyrgyz. But
So you're going to
we'll
have to
see.
learn the language while
yeah,
you're there.
in my first 3 months, and then build on that with my
Well, there's
host
no better
family.
way than being there to
Absolutely.
learn it.
Yeah, the immersive culture.
Wow. So if you do inspire young women to go on to college, what are their opportunities there?
Yeah, absolutely. So they don't have a ton of opportunities right there, especially around them. But the more they get involved in their secondary education and high school, then they can apply for scholarships to go out of the country.
So they would have to leave the country.
They can, yeah. And then once they do, they can always come back. We're trying to install values in them so that they'll go get their education, come back, and
help their-
continue
yeah.
on that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's very exciting.
So they can build up that infrastructure.
Wow. Okay. Tell me a little bit more about, like, you're planning to go there. What can you bring? Are you allowed to bring, like, I'd have to have my blow dryer?
Yeah, I probably
Anything like that?
I probably won't be bringing a blow dryer, but we are expected to bring a laptop, and hopefully we'll be able to find a modem or some way to connect to the internet, because we have to submit reports for the Peace Corps about what we're doing, what type of progress is made with our counterpart teachers, all of that. They give us a packing list, and the main thing
What's
on
in
the
your packing
right,
list?
the main thing on the Kyrgyz Republic packing list is warm weather clothes or cold weather
Cold
clothing.
weather clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
Living in Florida for 4 years, you probably don't have
It'll
too
be a
many of
little
those.
different, yeah.
So, okay, so cold weather clothes.
And it's
then,
very big on professional dress code. Because,
well, what would that be in?
yeah, so their culture places a lot of value on the way you look and the way
so
you
you have
present
to dress
yourself.
the way
Exactly,
they would dress.
yeah.
And
So
do
they're
they
like heeled
tell you what that
boots.
is?
Yeah, they do. They provide a list. It's dark clothing, dark colors, heeled boots for women,
Heeled boots?
pants or skirts. Yeah,
Pants and skirts?
Yeah.
And then cold weather skirts?
Yeah, they suggest instead of snow boots, wear heeled boots. So
Oh,
that's what I'm going to
wow.
be looking for now.
All right, we'll have to get you some of those.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And then what about, do you know what your living arrangement is like? Do you have your own room and your own bathroom and
I
that
will.
kind of thing?
I won't have my own bathroom. I'll have my own room, and then it's usually a shared outhouse for the host
Outhouse?
family. Yes, and they recommend. They said that most Peace Corps volunteers, a lot of them actually drop. They use their iPhones as like a flashlight to get
Oh, no,
to the
they drop
bathroom,
them
and they
in
drop
the
them. Yeah.
outhouse?
So they said, don't do that. Don't bring your iPhone out with you. So I'll probably invest in a flashlight. But
Oh, my goodness. So you have to get up in the middle of the night. You got to go
Yeah.
out to the outhouse?
which won't be that bad in the summer. I'm a little nervous about the winter, but I'll dress warm.
Yes. Oh, wow. Wow, what a culture shock.
Yeah, it'll be very different, but that's part of their interview process, which is really extensive, and it's why it took me. So I applied in August.
They would have
and
to
didn't
make
find
sure
out
there's
till
not somebody
January.
that's going to turn right around and
flexibility
come
is
back.
their main value. That
come
they're
back.
really exactly.
Wow. And so you said you were willing to do all these things.
Yeah, I had to think about it for a while, but I'm really excited.
3
for
days
this.
they only gave you to think about.
Well, yeah, but before that, yeah, I was thinking about it and researching and everything.
So you've been planning on doing this for how long?
About a year now.
So you doing it? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Anybody else you know at school that applied?
No. I've met one other girl who will also be going to the Kyrgyz Republic during my cohort, which is a section of people who are also leaving. And I found her on Instagram because she had hashtagged her acceptance letter. So we've talked a couple times, and I'm in the Facebook group for the 25th
So
cohort.
will you be with her in that first group for the first 3 months?
We'll meet in DC when we're doing staging. It's 1 week of staging in August, and
What
then
is staging?
Staging is basically we all meet each other. We meet with the Peace Corps director for the Department of State. We meet with the Kyrgyzstan officials with the Department of State. We'll talk with everyone, kind of figure out what's going on. They'll check and make sure we have all the stuff for our packing list, everything we're going to need, and then we're going to fly out in 7 days.
Oh, wow. And how often are you able to come back and visit the United States during that 2 years and 3 months?
Yeah, so we accrue 2 vacation days per month. You can't use them during your first 6 months and during your last 3. But any other time, you can kind of put them together. You can use it as 2 weeks or a couple days if you want to travel. But anytime you leave your village, your rural village, counts as a vacation day. So if I want to go into the main city, that's going to be one of my vacation days. And then also,
What if you go there after school and come back? Does that count? Or are you talking
No,
about
it's just anytime you're spending
taking a day
overnight, but
off?
usually
Okay.
that's going to be a large trip. Peace Corps volunteers aren't allowed to drive, so you would have to get transportation
How
out
far
there.
is the main city from where you are?
I don't know where I'm going to be yet, but usually they said 4 to 6 hours.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Wow. This is really exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It should be cool. But then, yeah, so I can use my vacation days together. I can travel. A lot of people travel around the region where you're volunteering, so I could travel around Asia. And then also I could come back and visit here. So.
Can you have people come and visit you there?
I can. I can't have men stay in my village, but I'm allowed to have women, and men can also stay in the city or outside and then just come in to visit me.
Wait a minute. So they got to stay in that village, in the city that's
In
like
the
4 to
city,
6
a
hours
little
away?
far. Yeah, it could be closer, but yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
for cultural reasons.
Yeah. So what? It's really, they're really strict about that.
Yeah.
Do you know a lot about the culture there? Like, what are the differences between kids here and kids there?
I've been reading of some. I mean, kids seem to be the same no matter where you go.
Do they have cell phones and things like that?
No,
Nothing like that.
Usually, when they get to the high school level, they might get like the type of flip phones. They don't use the same technology level that we do, though, or they don't have ready access to it, just because most are nomadic herders. It's a big agricultural lifestyle.
Wow.
So,
Oh, my goodness. How exciting.
yeah.
So let's see. What else? TV? Anything like that over there?
No, I'll have my laptop, and I already have the box set of The Office and hopefully West Wing. So I'll have some shows.
Yeah, we'll get you some stuff to take
I'm not
with
gonna
you.
have Netflix, so that'll be a little different. But
Oh, wow. So when you're not working, do you know what there is? You don't know the town you're going to, but I'm thinking
No,
of,
not
you know,
yet. The
can
work
you go to
week-
the movies? Can you go shopping? Can you do any of these things that...
it's not the same type of level as like a city or even just a smaller town around here. They don't have like the movie theater type of shopping areas or anything like that. The main practice actually for like meeting other people and hanging out with other people, it's called guesting, and you just travel to other people's houses in the village and you'll go eat, you'll go hang out. It's just kind of meeting with other people, talking. So it's just going house to house, and usually they said
That
the Peace Corps
sounds fun.
volunteers are like the guest of honor. They fill them with food.
Oh, I bet everyone will want to have you.
You get to just go to everyone's houses, which should be a really cool experience.
You get to know everybody.
Yeah, and that'll really help my language skills as well.
I suspect once you're there and
I'm
living
hoping,
there,
yeah.
it won't be too hard to pick up the language.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you're flying in there. They fly. Do you go over there with a bunch of other? I mean, are you on
Yeah,
a flight
they'll
with
fly us all
other
together.
Peace Corps people? Okay,
exactly.
and then you're all there for the first 3 months together, so that'll make it easier.
Yes, for sure.
And then they send everybody out to.
Yes, to our own
Where are they
village. And while we're there during our first 3 months, they're going to do interviews with us. For the people from the village will come, for the people from the schools, to try to see who you'd work with best.
Oh, so they're
what
going to
type of-
decide when you're there
Right.
which place.
Yeah, which is
where
why
to
I
place
won't
you.
know exactly right away.
That's why I was wondering why they wouldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Why are they keeping it a secret?
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so they decide who would best fit each situation.
Yeah, based on your career aspirations, based on your previous experience, based on the teachers they already have working there. So
Can people send you things? Can I send you a care package?
they can, yeah. I won't. They don't have like mail stations in each village or anything like that. So usually it would have to be like non-perishable food if they're sending food, so that by the time I get out there, it wouldn't be gross.
It has to
But-
come from the main city.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll send you something warm to wear.
Oh, thanks.
some nice high-heeled boots.
Replacement boots,
really
yeah.
Oh boy! Anything else you could tell us about this experience?
Well, the work days are 6-day school days.
6
because,
days a
yeah,
week?
they go to school Monday through Saturday, so they have school on Saturday as well.
Ooh,
And that's, the
okay,
same
kids
as
in
Russia.
the United States. Russia does that too?
Yeah, a lot of the Asian and Euro Asian countries in that area have
didn't know
6 days.
that. Are the hours the same? Is it?
Yeah, I'll be teaching from 8 in the morning to 1, and then I have like an hour-long lunch break. I can meet with my counterpart teachers, the other teachers in there, and then I teach from 2 to 5.
Okay, well that's a long day.
Yeah, but it's a couple different classes, so I'll work with different students. It'll be different lesson plans.
But the kids are in school till 5 every day.
Yes.
That is a long. All 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you said other teachers. There will be other teachers in the school from the Peace Corps, or you're
No,
the
I'll
only
be the
one?
only Peace Corps volunteer, but there will be other Kyrgyz teachers there as well. And
Okay.
I'm going to have a counterpart teacher who is a Kyrgyz citizen who has already been teaching in that school, and I'm going to work with them to teach the children. And that's one of the parts. We're not just teaching English to children. We're supposed to be teaching methods to the teachers there as well, so we can work with them, and they'll have those methods after we leave.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because they have very limited resources. They have textbooks from the Soviet regime. It's not
goodness.
always accurate information. They don't have photocopiers, so it's very hard to get the type of school supplies that we take for granted here that all schools
And
just
no
have,
internet.
so. Right. Very limited. Yeah, the students aren't able to access it, and not all schools have it. So.
Wow, it's like going back to the 1950s
Some parts
here,
of it
huh?
are, yeah.
Oh, that's going to be so interesting. You should write a book when you're done. Seriously, how many
They have
people
really
do this?
cool blogs and experience stories from the different people who have done it.
Can you
yeah.
blog from there?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna start
you
a
can't
blog?
always post it, but you can have it like on your computer, and then whenever you get connection, you can blog.
And you can put, I'm going to follow
I'm
you.
definitely gonna have my Polaroid. I'm gonna have a camera, everything. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. So, what are you going to do for these next 3 months before you go to,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
to prepare?
So, well, I graduate on Saturday, and then I'll be driving back to DC to stay with my parents for like a month and a half because they haven't seen me in a while now. They're not going to see me for 2 years.
How do they feel about
And
this?
My mom's very excited. She considered doing the Peace Corps for a while when she was younger. Yeah.
Okay.
And my dad's a little nervous, but
I would be
he's
nervous.
getting on board.
I would be nervous
Yeah.
and excited.
Yeah.
I'd be very
Yeah,
proud.
for
I know
sure.
that because you're making an incredible sacrifice. Like I said, people in this town give away a lot of money, but you're actually giving up over 2 years of your life to go live with these people in a whole other society, and that's amazing to me.
Thank you.
Just absolutely amazing. So you must have, do you have any brothers or sisters?
I do. I have 3 younger brothers.
Oh, 3 younger
Yeah.
brothers. How do they feel about this?
They're excited. I don't think they really comprehend it like
How old are
as
they?
much. Yeah. Well, one's already in college, so
Okay.
he was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Have fun."
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah, right.
Have fun when I'm not visiting you there.
No. The next one's in high school, and he was very thrown by the no internet. He's big on Netflix,
Yes,
video games,
I would
all
imagine
that,
most
so.
people your age
Yeah,
would be.
that's a bit different from him. And then the youngest is very excited because I may have a family goat, and he's very excited about that. So
I was going to ask you about pets.
Yeah.
Do they, maybe there'll be some dogs or cats in the
right.
house?
It's not encouraged to bring any of your own, especially because it's very hard to bring them back. It's a lot of money. It's expensive.
Right, you
and-
get attached to an animal.
Right,
and then
exactly.
You,
And then usually if you leave them, there's no one to provide that care once
Right.
you're gone. And it's just not usually encouraged. But usually the families do have goats that you can help take care of. Sometimes you get your own goat as a gift. So
Oh, you might
we'll
get your own
see.
goat.
Yeah. Depends on where I am, what type of work the
and
family does.
are the
so.
goats for milk? Is that what?
Yes.
Tell me they're not eating the goats.
They do eat some, but not the pet ones.
Not the pet
They're
ones.
usually for milk. Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is just overwhelming. Can you take a video camera with you?
I can, yeah.
Because you should just be recording and recording and
Oh,
recording.
I know. I'm hoping to get as much
I'm
as
a
I
video
can.
editor. I can help you.
Awesome, yes.
I would love to put something together for you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, this is so exciting. All right, we got to wrap up here in a
Sure.
couple of minutes. Anything else you want to say?
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for the Peace Corps experience, and it's a really cool thing that anyone could look into. You don't even need to have a college degree for a lot of the positions. Somewhere you're teaching, they do require that, but there's so many different sectors and different countries you can go to if you're not really sure what you want to do or what you want to do after even. But it's a great opportunity after college. At really any time, we have Peace Corps volunteers who are a lot older.
I was going to
and
say,
us
is
a
it
lot
just for
younger.
young people or
No,
anyone
it's
can
not.
volunteer?
I'm not sure exactly how old the oldest Peace Corps volunteer is, but we do have ones who are over 70. I know that one's over 80. So it's
You're
anytime you want to
kidding.
volunteer, anytime you want to get involved, they will find a place for you. They'll work with
Do
you.
you know where they sent those people? Or?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, no. But
Oh, my goodness.
They have really cool experience stories from them.
Sure. And is the commitment always just 2 years, or do some people stay in it longer?
It is 2 years, 3 months. But then if you decide afterwards that you haven't made the impact that you think you can, if you want to stay and get more involved, you can return as a return Peace Corps volunteer, which is an extra year added on. Or you can apply for a different term and they'll send you somewhere else.
And you can start your all over again?
Yeah.
Does anybody?
There are people who have done, I
was
know
asking.
someone who's done 7 different terms.
7.
So.
Okay, we got to wrap
Sure.
this up. Thank you, Marissa.
No, thank you.
This is a very inspiring story. And like I
Thank
said,
you for
there
having me.
aren't too many young people that would do this. So very proud of you, and I bet your whole
Thanks.
family is too. And I'm serious. Record stuff. I'm going to help you
Yeah,
make videos.
absolutely.
And we'll do your blog and everything.
Oh,
It'll be
perfect.
fun. And I'll tell people on my show how they can follow you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Tighten skin on your face, neck, and body, and lose fat at Ageless Body Sculpting Plus, located at 445 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton, where you'll find scientific technologies, including the latest acoustic lipolyzer, which uses ultrasound for immediate and permanent results. No surgery, diet, or exercise. If you don't lose inches, you don't pay. Call 561-654-0177 for your free consultation.
Serendipity Consignment Boutique is unlike any other consignment shop you have ever seen.
Lisa has the most beautiful and immaculate designer bags, clothes, shoes, and accessories. It's a designer candy store. So go check out Serendipity Consignment Boutique, Glades Plaza, 2200 Glades Road, Boca Raton, or visit their website at consignmentboca.com. You've been listening to and watching The Becky and Boca Show. Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge in downtown Boca Raton does fabulous professional makeup application. Make an appointment today and see how glamorous you can look. Call 561-409-4065 to book your appointment. Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge is located at 233 South Federal Highway on the first floor of the Boca Grand building in Boca Raton. The number again is 561-409-4065. And now, back to the show. Hello, welcome to the second half of the Becky and Boca Show. And I have two amazing guests here with me, Karen Hansen and Laura Rockland. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
And I'm just going to let you two tell us what you do because it's too overwhelming for me to exactly cover the whole thing and explain it right. So go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Becky, for having us today on the show. Again, I'm Laura Rockland, and my business partner and best friend is Karen Hansen, and we are the founders of a company called Ren and Rock. And everybody asks us all the time, well, what does that stand for? How did you come up with the name?
It's a cool name.
Thank you. Yeah. So we made it up in the airport going through security one day, but the Ren is for Karen, and my last name is Rockland, so that's how we came up with the Rock.
Ren and Rock.
Yes.
Okay. And what is Ren and Rock?
Well, Ren and Rock is a high fashion social impact brand, and our mission is to empower victims and survivors of rape, domestic violence, and childhood sexual assault by raising awareness, because we need to talk about these subjects more often and more openly because they're very taboo, and we need to change that. We want to eliminate stigma, so we stop victim blaming, and then ultimately educate for the prevention of abuse.
And why are you two interested in doing this?
The story is very personal for the two of us.
Do you want to share it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And the reason that we share our story is because we do want to educate. We are sort of becoming the poster children for the things that have happened to us. Go ahead, you started.
Okay, so this is a lot of information, a lot of it's personal, but we feel that if we're sharing this information, that we're empowering other victims and survivors and ultimately preventing this from happening to other women and children. Because with education, 95% of abuse can be avoided. So Karen and I are both survivors of college campus rape. Mine was a date rape situation. It was someone that I knew, someone that I had gone out with, and we went back to my apartment after going out, and he forced himself on me against my will and had sex with me. So I, ran into my roommate's room. Her boyfriend went in and kicked the guy out. So this was like 20 some years ago, where date rape and, acquaintance rape really wasn't a thing.
And I think this happens sometimes to young women and they don't tell anybody
Exactly.
because they
Correct.
feel like it's their fault.
Or you just don't know. I'm going to call the police. I mean, I
Right,
knew,
and
it just,
embarrassed?
I didn't know what my choices were at that time. So other than my roommate and her boyfriend, they were really the only ones, who knew. So Karen's situation was a little different. She had gone out with a group of friends, some girlfriends, and there were two guys in the group. They went out. She was having a bad day. They're like, let's go out and we'll cheer you up. So they went out.
Okay.
They drank. She drank a lot of beer. It's what you do in college. And when she was going home, they lived in a townhouse community, and she was 2 doors away from her friend's house. And she's like, okay, I'm going to go. And her friend's like, well, let my boyfriend walk you home. He's leaving anyway. And she's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. She's 5'2", but, she's
I
pretty
can take care of
fierce.
myself.
Yeah.
So they're like, no, just let him walk you home. So she did. She let him walk her home. He came into her house and he raped her. The result of her rape was pregnancy and the birth of her daughter, who is now 22 years old and is an amazing human being. So I mean, obviously, that was a silver lining for her, but she should never have had to go through that to begin with.
Right. And I want to just jump in with two really important statistics. Like you said, most rapes go unreported. And actually, it's 93% of rapes.
93%?
Yes. And 5% of those rapes every year in the U.S. alone result in pregnancy. So if you've ever been to a Miami Heat game, you can actually fill that arena 2 times with the number of pregnancies that result from rape every single year, just in the U.S.
Oh, you're kidding.
I wish I was kidding.
Oh, my
So,
gosh.
and the other thing I was going to say,
So is this still going on college campuses?
absolutely. And the other thing that I want to say that's really important, so many people are so ready to victim blame. They think,
I know.
oh, were you drinking, or what were you wearing? Did you have a short skirt on? Were you flirting? You know, all of those things. People don't realize that is victim blaming. And it's hard enough to come forward with your story as it is. And that should tell you 93% of women and men don't come forward with their story because you know that that's what you expect.
Sure.
I mean, the statistics are today 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 16 boys will be sexually assaulted their freshman or sophomore year of college. And those are only
1
the
in
ones,
5?
1 in
Yes.
5 girls. And those are only ones that are reported. And the thing is,
Oh, so there's all the other ones that we don't even know.
Right.
Right.
And only 4% are false claims of rape. So 96% of the time, these
true.
people are telling the truth. But because of the ones that you hear, everyone jumps on that bandwagon.
right. So how do we avoid this? Well, we need to start educating our children when they're younger. Doing it freshman orientation, first day of college is not the time because
But educating them to do what? Like if it's a young woman, how can she prevent this? I mean, your two situations.
Yes. Well, in my situation, I mean, the thing is, once this happens to you, you tend to go back in time. What could I have done differently? How could I have changed the result of what happened? And, you know, there's never a way to prevent all of these things from happening. But in my case specifically, if I had walked home with one of my female friends, or if I had not let him walk me home, you know, you think you're being safe by having this big man walk you home because it's late at night and you've been drinking. Girls just need to stick together. That's just the bottom line. You need to be at least 2 girls at all times, you know, not have your drink exposed when you're in a bar, and just, even if it's someone you know, because we just spoke at the University of Miami last week. And all of this is very fresh, which is why my voice sounds so crackly. We've told this story so many times, and it just does not get old. And I even said to Laura last week, I was like, our story is 20 years old. Does anyone really care? Is anyone paying attention? Is this
they do.
really still
Right.
happening? And we had a young girl come up to us after we spoke about college campus rape and sexual assault. And this young girl, who's a pre-med student, comes up to us and says, this just happened to me this year, almost the exact same story as what happened to you. And I tried to press charges. I did all of the right things. I went to the hospital. There's video surveillance, and the charges get dropped.
Why is that?
I wish I had the answer to this.
And here's the thing, this is not about male bashing
Not at all.
at all, because 92% of men are great. It's the 8% that commit 90% of the crime. So especially even in college, again, there's a lot of parties, there's alcohol involved.
People
So
are
if you're at a
drinking.
fraternity
Right.
party, and as a man, and you see a guy, even if you're a 5'9" guy, and you see this 6'3", you know, big guy, and he's like trying to get the girl to go to his room, or she's really drunk and he's trying to put the moves on her, we need more bystander intervention. So you don't want to go up and make an issue with that guy. So you grab a buddy, you go get her, and you say, hey, Susie, come take a photo with us. Or, hey, Susie, your mom just called Josh's cell phone. She needs to speak to you. Get her out of that situation. You know, don't turn the other cheek, because if you are, you're just as
Helping.
guilty. You're just as
Exactly.
guilty.
And it leaves a lifetime scar. That's what people don't understand. For the predator, I'll say, you know, it's a one time. Actually, they're usually repeat offenders, but it's, you know, it's a few minutes of fun. They don't even remember the
Right,
person's name.
Right.
And they're drinking and
But when you're
Exactly.
on our end of it, you remember the name, you remember the smell, you remember the room, you remember details that you wish you could forget.
And now, did either of you two come forward at the time?
No.
No.
No. Wow.
So
No,
we're not
and
even 1 in
being
5.
pregnant, I still didn't.
Yeah,
Because
you're
we
not
don't
even the
report
ones
it.
that are counted.
No.
Wow, that's amazing.
So one of the things that we've done with our company is we've become corporate partners with a campaign, an organization called It's On Us, which was started by the former administration back in September 2014. And it's out there to end sexual assault on college campuses. So like Karen was saying, the University of Miami is an It's On Us school. And we're happy to report that there are 500 colleges across this country that are now It's On Us schools. So there's zero tolerance for
So how does
sexual
that,
assault.
what does that do, though?
It brings awareness onto the college campuses. They have the resources available for students. You know,
They
and
talk
it's a
about
pledge.
intervention and give examples to kids of how to intervene, how to stand up for each other and look out for each other. They teach boys what rape is because half the time they don't even know what rape is. So there's a video that we've seen on YouTube. It's called Consent Tea, T-E-A, like a cup of tea. And it basically compares offering someone a hot cup of tea to having sex. So if I offer you a cup of tea today and you say yes, great, I go make tea and I give it to you. If I offer you tea again tomorrow and you say no, I'm not going to force you to drink it. Or if I offer you tea and you say yes, and then I go make the tea and put milk and do all these things and bring it back to you and you're like, you know what, I changed my mind. I don't want tea now. I'm not going to make you drink it anyway. Or if you had tea last week, it doesn't mean you want it again this week. So it just breaks it down into literally stick figures that people can understand. It's so basic. If someone's passed out, you don't pour hot tea down their throat. You just don't. If they can't respond to you to answer if they want tea or not, they probably don't want tea. So
It's very simple. And
I
it's,
see your point. Okay.
you know, 15-year-old boys and 65-year-old men can understand that. It's very basic.
Right.
So we're tackling the college campus rape because that's personal to us. So then fast forward, I get married a week after college, which I don't recommend. It's dumb.
Looking right into the camera and saying, don't do it. Do not try this at home.
And I was married for 16 years with my husband for 18, and for 10 of those years, I was a victim of domestic violence. It was verbal, it was emotional, it got physical one time, and it was economical. And I finally, after having 3 children, got the courage to leave one day. I was like, I've had enough. I'm not doing this anymore. And I filed for divorce. And 4 weeks after our divorce was finalized, my ex-husband ended his life. So, in that day, my mother said, thank God you didn't take my daughter or my grandchildren.
Right.
You know, because I was like a dead woman walking. Wow. Yeah, it was scary. And at the time, I kind of compartmentalized it because every other aspect of my life was so great. I work with my best friend. I have 3 amazing children. You know, my parents have been married for 52 years. I have 2 older sisters, and they've been married for almost 30 years. And I didn't want to face it because if I told my family, then I'd have to do something about it. And I was afraid to address it.
Sure.
And I think a lot of women walk around, and I'm educated, I own my own business, and you think about someone who's a victim of domestic violence, and you think they have no teeth in their mouth, they live in a trailer, and they have no resources, and that's not the case. And with domestic violence, it's all about power, and slowly but surely they chip away at you until they're in control.
They're in control. Yeah.
And especially a lot of powerful women are victims of domestic violence because a guy
Really?
sees a woman who's, you know, in a high profile position, and he wants to be able to control that.
Wow. Okay,
Yes.
so now tell us about your handbags and how that.
Well, we
is
still have one more
helping.
piece
No,
of
go
the
ahead, go
story
ahead.
that we
Okay.
have to say
Go
because
ahead.
sadly
Yes.
the story gets worse before
no,
it gets
no.
better. I know.
I
No.
thought we heard it all. What is?
So the last piece of the storyline here is that when I was fast forward in my story, I ended up getting married as well, and when my daughter was 11 years old, and I was 9 months pregnant with my son, my daughter came to me and told me that she had been molested by my husband at the time.
What?
Yes.
You can't make this up. It's like nonfiction is crazier than fiction.
No. So that's why we are tackling these 3 issues: rape, domestic violence, and childhood sexual assault, because we have just had enough. And people do not talk about these subjects. It's embarrassing. you know, the predators count on the fact that victims are
Aren't gonna say
embarrassed.
anything.
They're ashamed. They blame themselves. They feel like it's their fault. And so they feel like they don't have a voice. And we've just had it. We're going to be their voice. We're going to stand up for them. And we're going to encourage others to do that, because as a society and as a community, we're two people. There are 300, I have to look in the camera for this.
Yes,
There are 317 million, did I get that right?
I think it's 14, but whatever.
314 million people in the United States. We will never get to all of them by ourselves. We need help so that people are not victim blaming. We need help so that when someone comes forward and says, this happened to me, believe them, because it's too embarrassing to make it up.
Right. Why would anyone make that up?
Why would anyone make it up? Especially with athletes. People think, well, she's just after the money. I'm like, there is not enough money in the world to make you come out and say something like that, because everyone is going to say it's about the money. Everyone is going to say that you're just looking for 15 minutes of fame. Who wants that fame? Who wants that kind of fame?
Right.
So anyway.
We'll talk about handbags. But one thing, I mean, everyone to
There's nothing else to the story,
just listen to
luckily.
this. One statistic for those who have children and grandchildren: 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys will be sexually assaulted before their 18th birthday, and the average age for a boy is 4 years old.
And those are from the Department of Justice. So those are not Karen and Laura made up statistics.
Do you know who they're molested by?
90% of the time, it's someone they know and trust. So a step-parent,
Someone the parents
an
would
uncle,
know and
a biological grandparent, an older
Biological
Bio-
parents, even, yes.
Yes.
And just even yesterday, we heard another story about, you would be shocked. Coaches, teachers, church.
Can you imagine what it's
People-
like to be 4 years old and have
No.
that happen
They
to you?
don't know what
Innocence
to
is
do.
stolen.
They
and
don't
you
know
would
what to do.
grow up with that in your psyche,
Right.
not knowing
Right.
how to fit that into your...
Correct. So with these heavy issues, what we're doing is we're using fashion as our vehicle to get our message out to the world. So we have a line of handbags, which is the Ren and Rock part. Our handbags are made in the garment district in New York City. So yay, we're supporting our national economy. And all of our leathers are hand finished and embossed in West Palm Beach. So we're also helping our local economy. So I know you wanted us to bring some
I wanna
bags
show
on.
them, because they're amazing.
We'll talk about fun things
And now
now.
tell us how this is going to help.
Okay, so what we're doing with Ren and Rock, when you purchase a Ren and Rock handbag, we donate a percentage of our proceeds to organizations that are in alignment with our mission. So for all e-commerce sales, we donate to Lauren's Kids, which is an international organization that deals with prevention of childhood sexual assault and abuse.
They're based in Miami-Dade County.
And then Safe Space Foundation, which is also based in Miami-Dade County, and it's for domestic violence shelter, and they have an empowerment program for women. They take in the children and get them, back on their feet.
They do counseling and relocation services if it's a situation where they need to get out of the state or out of the area.
Okay.
So that's one of the ways that we're giving back, and then by sharing our story,
Yeah, that's
which
the hardest part.
And speaking.
right, we're
Right.
doing speaking engagements, so that's really helping, I think, to prevent abuse. We've already had people come to us and say, "Wow, I bought the books that you recommended, from Kids Safe," and so I'm talking to my son and daughter. She's 4 or 5 about safe touch and unsafe touch. Just sharing our stories, I think, is really empowering people to not, become a victim. Like arm yourself with knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, this bag we have 4 styles. This is called Street Smart, and it's inspired by brass knuckles.
I love that.
I'm like, do not mess with me. So
She means that.
That
cool-
is amazing.
the cool thing about this bag, it's
Wow.
actually like a functional piece of art. So you can carry
Yes.
it like this, or let's say you're at a cocktail party, you can hold a glass
Oh,
of
wow.
champagne,
Oh,
or a plate of food.